Hi, how are you doing? This is Pastor Cheryl. I wanted to talk to you about some future predictions. One of them is the new Madrid fault line, which I live by the Mississippi River, so it's a concern. And there will be an earthquake that will go from the Gulf of Mexico on up the Mississippi River, jaunt on over to the east at St. Louis, and crack all the way up to Lake Michigan. It'll reroute the Mississippi River. It'll completely reroute the Mississippi River, and it'll be wide. It'll be wide. It's predicted so wide that it'll take a while before, we'll be able to get groceries, from one side of the river to the other. It'll be simply extremely too big, and they won't have a bridge that will gap that yet. They'll try some military bridges that float. Won't work. It won't work. So they're going to have to do some something from a ferry from one side of the river to the other. Anyway, I drew a picture for you. Okay, do you see that? There's the United States here in this picture, and there is the crack going all the way up to Lake Michigan. This will cause a tremendous earthquake. Apparently, some of the earthquake, things like this just don't happen overnight. Some of it will happen before the rapture, but the really big one will be after the rapture. And we're not going to be the only crack in the earth, okay? It'll flatten houses, in particular, cement block houses will, those cement blocks, they're just glued on the edges. They'll topple on over. So if you're in a cement block building, get out of there. Get rid of it, okay? Get out of there. Any brick building, get out of there. This thing will topple buildings. There won't be any food and water for a while. All the infrastructure will be destroyed. So be ready for this. There won't be any groceries at the grocery store because they won't be able to move it from one side of the river to the other. It'll be simply too wide. It'll be a big gap. And supposedly God said he was doing this because the United States is too strong, and so he's going to divide the country. I don't know. I think it's just something that is meant to happen anyway. It's just meant to be. Because there's a crack underneath where the bedrock is, and it's been there for eons, It's been there since the beginning of when the earth was made. And so now that the earth is cooling, the inside of the earth was spinning, slowed down, which was stop, and now it's slowly going in retrograde, slowly. The inside of the planet's cooling, and so expect some cracks and some wrinkles and stuff. The earth will have some changes. Here, we'll try to get rid of that light switch. So this is a big concern. Apparently, Montana will be real stable. That one won't shift. And on the East Coast, down there in the Appalachian Mountains, that's real stable too. So if you can get out there, that would be safer for you. Buy some land and farm your own. Because then, so that you're guaranteed food. The rapture will happen somewhere in the midst of this. Somewhere in the middle of this, plus an invasion from, believe it or not, Russia and China. They will invade. Probably over food. It'll probably be an argument over food. They have a lack of it. We have an abundance. Of course they're going to go for that. They're going to go for that farmland. They will. So, anyway, get ready for that. I keep telling everybody, squirrel away as much dried goods and canned goods as you can muster, especially water. All the infrastructure is going to be destroyed. Water. So, there will be a rapture. The children will go, and the old people will go, and the most devout will be gone for 7 years. In the midst of that 7 years, just mayhem will break out, crazy stuff, and there will be believers left behind. They will be the lukewarm Christians. They'll become devout during this time. They go one way or the other. Either become devout or not believe anything at all. And then the question is, what's going to happen to our president? He's old. Okay? He's old. It's been predicted that he's going to pass away. It's also been predicted that there's going to be another assassination attempt. So keep that in prayer. Yeah. Let the old guy live out his, just let him live. Just, instead of killing people off and shooting people because you just happen not to like them. And as far as I'm concerned, God put him here for a reason. I didn't vote for him. No, I thought he was too crazy. Yes, he's crazy. But he has done a few good things. He really has. I'm surprised that he's allowing all of these ballistic missiles to be shot at Israel. Israel's doing their best to blow them out of the sky. And they probably could use another Iron Dome. And so I really don't know what's going to happen with that. But Christ is going to return to kind of settle things down. Because this is going to continue. It's just that for some reason the Muslims really hate Israel. They just really hate them. And they want them gone. So we're thinking like, yeah, we want those Muslim nations gone because we're getting sick and tired of them, We're getting sick and tired of the fighting and whatever, the scrapping and, and just... And so anyway, this will eventually happen. We'll be invaded. They will come and get in the middle of this earthquake. Everything will be flattened. So be ready for this. Usually in an earthquake, the second floor, the top floor, falls down into the first floor. Keep that in mind. You might want a few extra beams in your ceiling and the basement and between the floors. Yes, you can put them in. You can put a few extra beams in there to hold the whole thing up. But the earth is going to go sideways. I would say you could hear the earthquake coming. I lived through one of these when I was a kid. You'll hear it coming and you'll feel the ground rise. You go, it goes on up and up and up and up and up. It'll stop, then it goes boom. That's what happened. We had just moved to down the river here, and that happened, and someone said, oh, the Mississippi River is a fault line. Didn't you know that? No. We moved in from Rockford thinking it's solid ground with just, a river. A river going through it. No. That river is a fault line. So it was going to crack from the Gulf of Mexico up to St. Louis and jaunt on over to the right and go straight up to Lake Michigan. It'll be going right through Gary, Indiana, where it's low. And there'll be a few little rivets, a few little branches here and there. I saw one drawing, colored pencils here. And I do this for, a number of things here. And so I will draw them in, a few little rivets. And they will go into the surrounding area. It won't be perfect straight lines. when it finally goes. Okay? You see those little cracks? Yeah. You see that? There will be some little cracks. Some extra little rivers. And anyway, those troops that have come here to invade, they're going to have to live through that too. Because this thing will happen in the middle of all of that. Okay? Hopefully we'll be out of here by then. They'll be raptured out and we'll be okay. So keep it in prayer. There are some things I really just don't want to see. I'm getting old, right? There's some things I just don't want to see. And so, anyway, I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.